Greetings. This is attorney Della Welch, and the subject of tape recording 2 is the continuation of how to do a notice of motion. And remember, you have FL 300, and there'll be a box. It'll say, do you want to do child support or visitation? And you'll put the X on other, and you'll put motion to set aside judgment. And remember that you will go to item 8 of FL 300 and put C attached. We're now doing the attachment to that. And you will go to item 10 and check the box C attached. I had just dictated to you a possible notice of motion, and we had got to the point of memorandum of points and authorities, and you had typed that in all caps at your keyboard, and in the middle you had put Code of Civil Procedure, Section 473B, states in relevant part, colon, and single space this and indent it. The court may, comma, upon any terms as may be just, comma, relieve a party or his or her legal representative of a judgment, dismissal, order, or other proceeding taken against him or her through mistake, comma, inadvertence, comma, surprise, or excusable neglect, period. Application for this relief shall be accompanied by a copy of the answer or other pleading proposed to be filed herein, and shall be made within a reasonable time, in no case exceeding 6 months after the judgment, order, or proceeding was taken. And then do a double space and indent. In the present case, comma, respondent did not file a timely response to the complaint, that would be the complaint for divorce, for the reasons stated in the attached declaration, period. A new sentence. The policy of the law is to have every case tried on its merits, and that policy views with disfavor a party who, regardless of the merits, preempts to take advantage of the mistake, comma, inadvertence, comma, or neglect of his adversary, period. This policy is so strong that any doubts in applying California Code of Procedure 473 must be resolved in favor of the party. This policy seeking relief from default, and we can put any doubts or in applying 473 must be resolved in favor of the party seeking that. Make sure that important sentence is there. And then the case law is Elston, E-L-S-T-O-N, versus City of Turlock. You can underline that or put it in italics. That's the name of a case. And put in parentheses, 1985, and end of parentheses. And then put 38, Cal, C-A-L, space, third, period, 227, comma, 233. And there's another case, Sluher, S-L-U-S-H-E-R, versus Durrer, Durrer, parentheses 1977, end of parentheses, 6-9, Calap 3rd, 747, 753, period. New paragraph. For the reasons stated in this memorandum and in the attached declaration, the court should set aside the default and any judgment thereon against the defendant, period. And then you can end that page and begin a new page and put in all caps and center it, declaration of respondent or of defendant, and then put I, Jane Doe, or whatever your name is, declare, and then put a colon. I am the respondent in this action. I have personal knowledge of the matters discussed below, and if called as a witness, I could competently testify to them, period. New sentence. I did not file a timely response to the complaint in this action for the following reasons, colon. And you may want to have one of the reasons be, I could not afford an attorney, but the petitioner was able to consult with an attorney, period. Then you can double space and add a second item. I did not understand the terms of the divorce and did not understand the documents I was signing. Item 3, you could put, if this is the case, item 3, you could say, I have a mental illness of anxiety, and this stood in the way of my understanding the procedure of what was going on. And if you do have a note from your doctor about your mental illness, you could put C attachment A and attach it to this. You can go item 4, I do not believe the respondent fairly disclosed the terms of the dissolution agreement to me. You could put item 5, the child support given to these children that the petitioner would pay was not consistent with the mandatory state guidelines required by California law, period. Further, the spousal support was not consistent with California state mandatory guidelines, period. Further, I did not have money to meet my expenses based on this agreement. And then you could state any other agreement that you didn't understand. And then you could indent a new paragraph. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. And then you can double space and put dated, colon, and write today's date, by, draw a line, sign your name in pro per. So after you complete this and make this attachment to FL 300, what you will need to do is make 2 more copies of FL 300 and of this attachment. The original will be filed at